Hello everyone, I'm JG and welcome back to Music Forever, where today I'm going to be reviewing the newest EP from TWRP guitarist Lord Phobos, Phobos 2. This is a follow-up to Phobos 1 that was released last year, an EP that overall I thought was pretty enjoyable. It was really great to see Phobos not only doing some fantastic guitar work on that thing, but also getting to shine on some other instruments as well. And while I don't think that EP is quite as enjoyable as a lot of TWRP's albums or EPs, I still think it was a nice little project, and I'm happy to have gotten it. When I heard this new project was coming out, though, I was excited to see what was going to be on this thing. Was it going to be more of the same as that last EP? Was it going to be something a little bit different? And for the most part, I would say that this new EP here is a continuation of a lot of the best parts of Phobos 1, but at the same time, it adds just enough new ideas in order to make this thing unique and interesting. As I said before, the sound of this thing isn't super far out from what you would expect from Lord Phobos given what was on Phobos 1 and TWRP's various releases. However, while the guitar work on this thing is of course at the forefront as you might expect, a lot of the other instruments on this project have a lot more time to shine on this thing, I feel, compared to what they had going for them on Phobos 1. Not to say I disliked what the other instruments were doing on that EP, but for the most part, I feel like the guitar was the focal point of that release. Here, I mean, sure, the guitar is definitely one of the focal points, but I feel like all the other instruments have a bit more time to shine here, and the mix of sound is just a bit more consistent when you take into account all the different instruments involved here. I especially feel like the synth work on this project is another point of this thing that's at the forefront of this project. It almost gives this project this kind of synthwave-like feel at certain points, and it just gives this thing a unique feel that the first EP or any of TWRP's other releases don't really have. The bass work on this project is also fantastic too, definitely improved from Phobos 1. Especially on tracks like Wizard of the Night, for example, the bass work is just fantastic there. And while it's still not quite as great as you would expect to hear on a TWRP project proper, it's still really great overall, and I think it fits the context of all these songs really nicely. Another thing about this project that I noticed was a bit different from the first release that we got last year is that the tone of this thing is just a little bit darker in comparison. Not darker in the sense that it's angstier or sadder or angrier or something like that. Darker in kind of the way that maybe your favorite kids cartoon is when it comes back for a reboot or a sequel series or something like that, and the characters are a bit older and a bit more mature and they have some more real world problems to deal with. But of course, it's not, super angsty or dark or anything quite like that. You still have this kind of playful vibe packed into it, and the same could be said for this EP here, because this thing, like I said, it has its darker moments to it. Some of the sounds on this thing are a bit more nocturnal sounding, though at the same time, a lot of those more upbeat and happy sounds that were present on Phobos 1 and a lot of TWRP's work is also present on this thing too. It doesn't feel like it's this completely weird tangent in the TWRP discography or something like that. It feels right at home there, but at the same time, it's just a little bit different. I think it makes this project sound really interesting. I mean, even when you compare the album artwork for this project compared to Phobos 1, it's just darker in tone, and the mask on the front cover has more sharp edges to it. It just looks a bit darker, and I think it reflects the music on this thing quite nicely. Another thing I really enjoyed about this project is just how cohesive and enjoyable this thing is from start to finish. Like I said, I enjoyed Phobos 1, but in some regards it is a bit lightweight, and I don't really find myself returning to it all that frequently as a result of that. But this project, while it is the same amount of tracks and close to the same runtime, the overall feel of this thing is just a lot more consistent, a lot more cohesive. All 4 tracks on this thing feel really well developed, and each track, like I said earlier in the review, has great instrumental parts. Every instrument is doing its thing fantastically. You have lots of nice solos packed into these tracks as well. And each song has its own distinct flair as well, making each song here enjoyable. The end result of all of this is that this EP ends up being this very short, very compact, but really enjoyable listening experience. It comes in, gives you a lot of great material really quickly, and then is over before it starts to get redundant or boring. And considering that's an improvement over Phobos 1, there's not much else I could really ask for with this release. Like I said, it's consistently enjoyable, pretty short and to the point. I like the slightly darker atmosphere here on this thing, and all the performances on this thing from Lord Phobos himself are fantastic. So yeah, I just really enjoyed this EP. And if you're a fan of TWRP and Lord Phobos, you should certainly check this EP out, because it has a lot of the stuff that makes music from TWRP and Lord Phobos, great, but at the same time has its own unique things you're not going to find anywhere else within either artist's discographies. So yeah, definitely give this thing a listen. It's a great EP overall, one of my favorite EPs of the year so far. I feel like I'll definitely be coming back to this quite often throughout the year. And yeah, overall, I just really enjoyed this project. However, if you have a different opinion, that's perfectly fine. In fact, feel free to leave your own thoughts on this EP in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, make sure you also leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more music-related content. Things like album reviews, discussion videos, countdown lists, things of that sort. Again, thank you for watching, and stay golden.